back to the beginning of another week. We are in week 10. So in my garden plan, I think I've caught up to week 8, which is kind of where I need to be. I've definitely started things in week 9, and then this is week 10. So we'll get some stuff going. This week has been a lot of feeding the garden, so feeding the future food that I'm hoping to grow here, and prepping the beds for the plants and things of that nature. So I will take you around and show you what happened. So since it's Monday, we're out a little earlier than I'm usually out, since I missed my opportunity to film yesterday. In the garden, I have put in a new rhubarb there. Unfortunately, its crown was damaged, so I'm not sure if it's going to survive, but we'll see. And then this is the rhubarb that's coming back for this year, so that's super cool. I noticed that my girls were getting into the plants up here because I did a lot of pruning as well. So they were actually going onto the bench and then going up onto here and then getting into the things. So I've actually put little like round cage protectors to try to discourage them from going in there, but we'll see how that works. Again, I still need to get rid of. I did start taking down this privacy screen, but I actually have to go onto the neighbor's property and figure that out. So that will probably happen this week because I'm not sure when they're coming out to start doing the tillage and stuff for the fields. And I obviously don't want to be over there doing things when they have to do their stuff. Francis and I received and put the new bash over the tarp over the chickens. So that is to let the sun shine in but keep the rain out, which is great. And then what I'll probably end up doing over the summer is actually getting a shade cloth, which will go over this to give them a little bit more shade, but we'll see what happens. I pruned my lemon verbena here and then I just stick the prunings into the dirt to see what happens. But if I zoom in or get really close, you can see that there are green things. So I'm hoping that those take because I really like lemon verbena. Out in the asparagus patch, I noticed my first asparagus coming back. So if I come down here, can you see that? I mean, my shadow's in the way, but yeah, we have some asparagus fronds coming up. So that's exciting. This is always the time of year where I'm walking around the garden and I'm wondering what died and what didn't, and what's coming back. So yeah, things like this was my geranium. It got really cold. It came back last year, but I don't know if it's going to come back this year, and it may have bit the dust. I did lose some of my shallots from this bed, so you can see some of them are coming back, but there's some big gaps where they're not. I did manage to harvest all of my horseradish. I still need to do something with it, but I have no worries about that coming back because that is actually somewhat invasive. I messed up in my garlic planting and I planted them too shallow. So I went through and I kind of cleaned them up. I put some more compost down and I'm hoping for the best. The shallots are supposed to be planted shallow, so they're doing fine, and kind of all the brown stuff that you see on top is like an organic fertilizer, so they've been fed. Had to do the same thing with this garlic bed. So basically I cleaned it up, I fed it, I put some more compost on. We're hoping for the best. The onions over there are actually going into their second year, so they're not going to bulb. They're just there. We're using them for onion greens, but eventually they have to go so I can plant other things. This was a huge project. It's going to continue to be a project. I completely regret putting landscape fabric down as a weed barrier. So much so that I'm in the process of trying to dig it all out. So I started here, and basically on that end, I started pulling up weed blocks. So I've gotten to this point, and I've been actually digging out the good topsoil in the path to put into the garden beds, because over time they've sunk, and eventually I want them to be a nice mound. So basically I'm digging up the path, I'm putting it into the bed. I will do the same thing over here. That's a super, super long-term project. So I'm just gradually working on it over time, and we will see what happens. This bed got semi-prepped and fed, fertilized for planting as well. So I'm getting there. The Brussels sprouts that I had planted late last year bolted. So we're still going to eat them. We're just not eating them as Brussels sprouts. I'm going to trim off all the little floret heads, and we'll eat those. And we can still eat the leaves and stuff. And the rest, the stuff that's not really edible, we'll just give to the chickens, and it'll all be good. Cabbages are slowly starting to kind of form their little center bits. So that's been neat. I've actually been mainly plucking off the outer leaves to give to the chickens as treats, but we like to eat them too. I know the front row is elephant garlic. I honestly don't remember what the back row is. It might also be elephant garlic, but I guess we'll find out when when it grows in and I go to harvest it. I need to get better with labeling things, but again, I'll get there. This guy is my lemon balm. That is actually going to be dug out, and I think I'm going to be moving that into the chicken space. And yeah, I did a lot of like just general tidying up along the border here, which I do every year. When I go onto the other side to work on getting that fence down, I will also do my second go. Like 2 or 3 times a year, I go over there and I kind of pull the hedge stuff away from the fence. So in the orchard, I'm super, super pleased with the daffodils. They look really, really pretty. I still need to clean up miscellaneous other things, but you can tell very quickly spring has sprung. So we have little buds and flowers coming off of, who is this? This is a plum. This is a plum. They fill out incredibly quickly. So I am glad that I got my sulfur spray onto them to try to protect them from the fungal infections. But yeah, so all of the orchard trees are definitely starting to wake up. They all have their daffodils around them, and I planted the daffodils to help protect the root zone from the voles, which love to chew on all of those tasty roots. And then yeah, I think I showed last week, my shadow would get out of the way, the kiwis. The kiwis are coming back, so they've been fertilized. The orchard's been fertilized. I fertilized the grapevines, but I'll take you down and show you those too. So out in the grapevine area, I checked that one. There's no real signs of life. This one, I think it's coming back right there. We'll see how that goes. This one has definitely got some green on it. So that's what I like to see. I like to see all the green. Makes me happy that I didn't kill them. But yeah, so those all have green. I'm pretty sure that one over there also has green. And the last thing I wanted to show you was my wisteria. So I'll throw in kind of a before picture, but I mean, it's not much to see right now, but I did get up there and I pruned it. So all of those like buds that you see, I'm hoping are going to be flowers soon. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So plans for this week, the blue car needs to go in for its control technique, which is basically smog on steroids. This guy, I'm really hoping he comes back because he's quite large, but he's super brown, like way more brown than he's ever been in the past. So I'm cautiously optimistic that the freeze didn't kill him, but we'll see. Interestingly, like some things like this guy usually dies back more and didn't. So I actually need to come out and like prune him. So there's a lot of little things like that need to happen. The chicken watering system is semi set up. So originally I was going to ask Francis to make a hook, but he was concerned about having to hold a bucket of water on a hook. So I need to trim the thing here, but for the most part, it's at least set up. I got this flexi hose because it's a lot easier for me to work with than the solid PVC, but I am going to shrink those pieces so that this goes kind of straight down that way versus like having to come way up there. But they are working. It's gravity fed into that system. So I'm hoping that will be really good during the summer. It gives them plenty of water. I can go in with just like a little rag and clean out the cups every day or every other day or whatever. Compost got delivered. I don't know if I showed off that yet, but that is a thing. And then out here, I finally started getting my root row together. I don't know what I'll be planting in these little things. Maybe salad heads or something, who knows. But in these for sure, so I have a square here, a hexagon, another hexagon over there, and I have another square to set up. Those will all have potatoes. And I'm cautiously optimistic that this is my year to figure out potatoes, because the way I'm doing it this year is I'm going to put a layer of rotted horse manure on the bottom and then some compost. I'm going to put the potatoes on the compost, and then I'm just going to cover them with all of this rotting hay that I had left over. I mean, I had bought a big delivery of that because it was fairly cheap to get it delivered, and a bunch of it, because last year I did my little hay bale things, and I could still, like right now they're great for planting in because they're basically partially decomposed. But that's also really good apparently for growing and covering and hilling up the potatoes. So that's my plan. We'll see if it works. I have no idea. I've never tried it. And the apium lost all its flowers. I don't know if it's going to produce any fruit. I guess we'll see if any of these things start turning into fruits. But the flowers didn't last very long, and that's it. I will leave you with the field of flowers because we are nowhere near sunset. But I hope you all had a great week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.